Couple of big announcements. Number one, on the 18th, I'll be going back to college, unfortunately, which means that, videos may or may not get slower over time, which I probably will be focusing more on Kakatsu's story. So, possibly expect that through the couple of months that I gotta deal with this, unless you want to hit 100k, which I am all down for, but I don't think that miracle is gonna happen, honestly, but I would like to be proven wrong. So yeah, that's number one. Number two, Kakatsu Commission is back, but it's on Ko-Fi from this point forward. And if you want to do, Kakatsu Commissions and you want to have something like that up and whatever, then please go ahead, go to Ko-Fi, and then you can just pick and choose what you like on there, and then you can do what you want. You can do what you want. And lastly, we are very close to hitting 1.3k, so go ahead, hit that sub button if you like to, and like the video if you would honestly like to, because we're very close to getting up to that 1.3. It would be nice if we can get to 2,000 before the year ends, but we'll have to see how that goes. Anyway, today I want to basically talk about my OCs and Kakatsu and all that type of stuff, but there's two characters I have never shown anybody outside of 3 people I knew IRL, and pretty much I kind of want to give you the points of this whole video, honestly. So when it comes to things, you guys know that there's some of you that enjoy the Kakatsu story, and I understand that you guys like Blue a lot, considering the fact that she's the most popular character in the entire channel, honestly. So that's a nice thing. I like Blue too. She's honestly adorable. And when it comes to these OC characters, Blue is honestly the only one I really had a dream of. Anybody else I made is kind of out of my own brain, and maybe inspiration from some other things. But other than that, Blue is the only somewhat slightly real person here, if we're being absolutely honest with each other. But as I'm looking at Blue and I'm looking at all the stuff that she is doing in her story, it makes me think about the other story I've been writing for a very long time. For those that don't know, I've been writing an anime story for myself, and hopefully one day to get completely animated fully, which has been doing that since like 2016. So yeah, and I'm still currently writing the story and whatever. And essentially, I was trying to figure out where to go with how to draw some of these characters and how to design them in a 2D setting, in picture form and whatever. And I was trying to understand how to get it done, especially with the hair, because hair gets me in a lot of trouble, and I couldn't necessarily figure it out for the longest time, which is why I had to ask Kay for assistance, which he ended up helping create some of those models that for those girls that's in that story, and essentially maybe be able to figure things out with the hair and stuff. But then it also came to my brain that they're in Kakatsu. You guys don't really know anything about the story of that series. If that ever gets animated, hopefully it does, you don't really know anything about the characters from that story or what's he even about. Today is the day I think you guys need to meet those girls, at least 2 of them out the group, 2 of the most important characters that exist within there, and I honestly feel like that you guys might enjoy them a bit. So that's what this video is today, to at least give you some type of proof that yeah, that series does exist, and these are 2 of the characters that exist within that series that do play major roles. So when it comes down to things, let's just start off with one and then we'll go off with the other. And I've been teasing a little bit of those characters on Twitter too, with certain drawings and certain pictures. So without any further ado, let us meet those ladies. The first one I want you to meet is the main heroine and one of the main characters that's in that story, which is Saki Kagome. She is a ninja. She is also part of the Kagome clan, and essentially she really has a jacked up childhood in some shape or form. Like, her dad doesn't really care for her, just want her to be strong for the clan so she can carry on if something happens to them. And she got to go through some very traumatizing things, which lead her to running away from the clan and essentially going somewhere else to meet up with this boyfriend who ends up becoming horrible to her, and then which leads her to find the main character after she leaves him. So she got a really rough patch of things that kind of go on, but she can definitely, especially at the current moment in the story where I've been writing, she can definitely hold her own. She can definitely whoop a lot of ass, and there's plenty of things that she can do that you probably wouldn't expect her to do. And there's one secret power to her that she actually has, but I will not ever mention it until that story gets fully animated. But even without that, she is still kicking enough ass on her own because, again, she is a ninja. And when it comes to things, yes, she's also a fox because she's a Foxian, which is a very specific race of, alien race that is, in the story of what I've been writing. And my character is also a Foxian as well. And even the girl that's in the story, as you will possibly see in Koikatsu, that, with the whole yellow tail, she is also somehow a Foxian, which that's just is what it is. It's literally a race of fox people, if you couldn't put that together. But anyway, point is with her, she's a headstrong person. She is very beautiful and sexy, but she will throw a metal bucket at you if you try to peep at her at even in the slightest, because she does that to one character, which hopefully you guys will probably relate to and enjoy in the future to come. But yeah, when it comes to things, Saki is definitely the person that you would like to have on your side. Definitely someone that will absolutely care for the main character in a very passionate way, and definitely is the first person that the main character really tries to truthfully save out of everybody. And when it comes to things, she's just a lovely person to be around. Yeah, she might be a bit headstrong, but she can also be smart at times too, especially with the character development that she's been given over the seasons. So yeah, a lot of major things play out with her, but she definitely is one of the most important characters I ever got to create. And she's also, and I forgot to mention this, the first female OC character I ever made in Drew. So there's also a bit of prestige status when it comes to Saki as well. And she's also the combination of Medaka Kurakami and Rita Screamery added together. And in Koikatsu, because Kei couldn't necessarily find a really good model for it, he ended up using Chiaki's base body model. So basically she's 3 characters in one. So that's kind of actually crazy. So yeah, that's pretty much Saki. But what about the other girl? Well, the other girl is Momo, who is essentially the cat princess of where she comes from on her own home planet. Now, let me explain a little bit of something to you guys. When it comes to her part of the story, essentially, she is the cat princess who essentially has to wander around the universe to kind of understand the worlds and understand the way the universe kind of works, and deal with its people as well to see how people are like. And also another part of her mission is to find a suitable master for her people so they can increase the population of the race, because the race is only like 1 million or so people, which is a decent amount of people but not that many, and she would like to have more, and it's been decided by her own mother to increase that population and find a suitable master, aka the main character. And essentially, yes, he's going to get a lot of coochie, but still at the end of the day, it's going to be a lot of work to, satisfy all those cat ladies. Thankfully, all the cat ladies are very loyal, and they are very loyal to him. So that's also a nice thing. But when it comes to Momo, she is basically the cheerleader of the group. She is the glue that holds the harem and everybody else really in the show together. She's literally the character that will cheer you on, the viewer, just because, she wants everybody to be happy. She wants everybody to live a nice, normal life. Granted, she already knows that things like that can't happen normally and easily, but she's ready to, accept the challenge if need be. Even though she's not necessarily truthfully a fighter, at least in her current state, when she does get into another mode, she will throw hands and there will be some hell to pay. But definitely in the current mode that she is with her niceness, she does not necessarily like to throw hands. In fact, she's not really a good fighter, especially in this mode that you currently see her in. But when push comes to shove, she will usually turn that mode on, whether she knows it or not, and then just turns into this powerhouse of a literal deity. So yes, Momo is a very, very, very different and unique character. She is the Moe character, but she's a strong Moe character that can also turn the Moe-ness off, and is a character that honestly I just want it to be the most pure and the most innocent character of all time, honestly. And she even talks in the third person as well. Anytime she says I or me, it's usually just Momo. So that's also another thing too. And again, she doesn't really care for all the negative stuff and all the stuff that a lot of people would complain about or whatever. She just wants to hug everybody and pretty much give everybody a good time, just so everybody can you know, again, be happy. And that's really what Momo really wants out of anything, honestly. So yeah, those are basically the basics of both of these characters without getting into super high detail. So hopefully whenever that series does come out, and hopefully whenever, you know, things can get good, hopefully I'll be able to tell you guys the story, and hopefully you guys will enjoy each of these characters that come through, especially with the rest of the girls in the harem, because this is just 2. There's 5 other girls you don't know. So hopefully you will enjoy those when the time comes. And I know the biggest question that you're probably going to ask is, okay, they're in Kokatsu, so are you going to put them in a Kokatsu story? Depending on how the story goes and how the other story is, if I can align it up in such a way where it's possible to put Saki and Momo into the story, maybe, possibly, sorta. We'll have to really see, but it's gonna be a task and a half. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's no guarantee they'll get into the Kakatsu story because they're already in another story, but we'll have to see. And also, again, shout out to Kay for making these lovely models of my ladies. Yes, I have to tweak them a little bit, but he did the most of the work. So, you know, go ahead, follow Cave, especially if you want to get your Kakatsu model made by him. You know, just make sure you have all the nice details and references. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about for today. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. Also follow me on Twitter, Patreon, and if you like to donate, Patreon as well. Honestly, Ko-Fi is a new thing that you can do. And yeah, that's really about it. So until then, it's Boy J, sign off. How about say?